Hey there, Chad here. Thanks for joining me. This is Rising Star 2. Let's play. This is my band, Everyone But Andy. It's a salute to The Office and Andy Bernard, played by Ed Helms. Let's do something I don't think we've done yet. I don't think we've gone and visited Chicago. We went to Kansas City in the last episode. Kansas City is a moderate-sized town like St. Louis, but let's go look at a big town. Chicago is 9 million people, and we can get there in one day. It costs $78 to drive there, so it does look like the return trip, when it starts to include overnights, those costs go up. In the last one we saw, driving home from Kansas City was $211. I hadn't paid attention to what driving to Kansas City was. Nonetheless, this tells me that it probably was lower than that. And when we drive home to St. Louis, it would probably be the same, although we're going to spend the night in Chicago, I think, and see what we can do in a hotel. So we are in Chicago, and the reason you might want to go to a bigger town is this. The St. Louis map, I think, is 5x5. Maybe it's 6x6. As you can see, this one's much bigger. 8x8 gives us a lot of opportunities. There's going to be more of the low-end venues like Dolph's Shed here. State Theaters, there's going to be more of all of them. Dom's Bar, so that's the low-end one. Ann's Watering Hole, there's 3. Let's see if we find another one. Diego's, that's 4. That's 5. So that's 6. As you can see, there's a lot more places to play in a bigger city. So that's one reason you might come to a bigger city. Let's go ahead and hit one of these and see if we can get something scheduled. I'm going to use the driving aid. I normally won't click on those. And by the way, you can add things like favorites by double clicking these, and it tells you down here when you're hovering over them how to make it. Right click it to make it a favorite. Then it'll show up on a short list for you to pick from quickly. I probably should do that with studios I end up using. When I start using studios, because they vary so much, you kind of want to stick with the ones that are working for you to maximize your bang for the buck. Literally. So we probably could stand to mark some of those as time goes forward. Now it's a Sunday. There are no shows. One thing, we might have come to Chicago on a better day other than a Sunday. We're here now. Let's take a look around, and what would they have for us? Well, they have a Battle of the Bands, but that's the same day we're booked in Kansas City for one of those. We could possibly do like an opening slot, $17. That's not going to cover our drive, which is okay. We want to earn reputation in different places. That's an important thing. Also, real quick, you'll notice that Hometown Pride is popular. Technology, which is in Missouri, popular, is not what's popular here. It is a little odd that we're seeing things that are on the national registry also in these locals. I hadn't really seen that a whole lot in the past, in the first couple of months of the game. As you play through the game, you see it more and more. This is weird that both Illinois and Missouri, their local popular and negative is something that's also on the national, so you're not seeing as many options there. Well, we could look at booking one of these openings. We still have plenty of work to do in St. Louis to get better as well, so kind of a pick 'em. Let's maybe look at one of the other venues. This one is only 60 folks. Whoops. One too many escapes there. Let's find one of these other bar and grill kind of places. Ann's Watering Hole. We'll head over there, see what they might have to offer with regards to possible gigs, although it really should be about the same. The size will probably be somewhere between 60 and 100. There we go.
Look at them new faces.
And their calendar, there it is. Well, they're willing to give us a headlining slot. Their venue is only 50. It's a smaller venue. And you'll notice their headlining slot, 12 songs, which we don't have yet. Flat pay of $70. Our business acumen, so Chad's ability to do business, is in the middle. And so it does say it helped get the offer, and it did negotiate $13 extra. So they were willing to pay $57. That's their going rate. we're good enough at business to bump that up a little bit. Opening slots, 35 with $7 bump. 9 songs in this one, not just a 6 song. Not bad. And again, you want to get exposure on your songs. You want to know what people are liking and what they're not liking, so you can kind of, you cut the chaff, right? You get rid of the ones that they just aren't hitting. And all of our songs are that way right now, but we have to have songs. So we're going to go with what we have for now. We do not have to schedule anything, although I do see this pretty battle out here. $24.50 for the winner. Let's go ahead and schedule it, see what we look like in Illinois later in the month. And there we have it.
You got some horse sense.
I sure do, but thanks.
Make it in show business.
All right. We will eventually make it in show business. Just not setting the world on fire like we could. That's a little bit intentional, folks. There are ways to min-max a lot better than what I'm doing here. That's not my intent of showing you how to do that. Folks watching these videos tend to be smart. They can figure that out, and you probably recognize that. So we're going to stay in a hotel. I don't think we've done that yet. Maybe we did, but let's say we didn't. There are 2 types. There's the one we just passed, which is a hotel, and then there are also motels. Motels are cheaper. Motels offer you less options, so to speak, to earn points. And I don't love how you end up earning points in hotels and motels. So here's the difference. Let's just take a quick look. I think we're going to end up staying in the motel just to save a few bucks. Hotels are going to be more expensive. $93 for this one. And then if we look at the motel, it should be significantly lower. It might be as low as like $17 to stay. 62. We'll go ahead and check into this motel. And this is the interface for that. This is what the motel rooms look like. It looks like a Holiday Inn. Very much so, doesn't it? A red roof or one of those. And there's nothing wrong with that. We have one action point here, or point for action, I should say, and that is we can save the game, which is great. This is how you save a game when you're on the road, really, because you're not at home. You can rest, which does the same thing if you rest at home, and you can write a song. Notice you can't practice, but you can write a song. That's good. You also might be noticing, hey, why is that flashing when I roll over it? Hey, why is that flashing? Hey, that chair's flashing. The lamps are flashing. Well, that's because we can pick those things up. And what we can do with them is we pick it up with the right mouse button, and it gave us happiness to do that. And then we can throw it at the wall and break it. And I think we broke it when we picked it up in this particular case, but we can like throw it at the mirror, try to do things like that. In some of them, and in motels, you can't do this. So I'd said there were some extra options for action in a hotel. In the hotel, you get more like a suite. So you'll have like a little kitchen set and things like this. And in the hotel, you can rip the sink out of the wall. And when you rip the sink out of the wall, it costs you a lot of money, but you get tons of happiness and tons of song ideas. I think they're going for the Keith Moon flavor there. We throw the VCR. We can break the mirror. Oh, that cost us $500, but a whole bunch of new song ideas and 18 happiness and inspiration. So we were able to break the mirror with the VCR. We could probably throw the TV, and that will cost us. We don't have a lot of money, folks. We don't want to be doing this, is really what it comes down to. But there will be a point where we have difficulty getting song ideas. This is one way to do it. You vandalize your hotel room. Just going to let that sit there for a minute. That would not be my style. That would not be my style. And I try not to vandalize the Bible. That's not something I'm going to do. But you can even move these things around. You can throw that lamp, be another $20. Yep, there we go. Plus one happiness. So the happiness and inspiration, the meter there is when the inspiration meter fills up, you get a new song idea. And then it resets. And that would be for each individual. So there you have it. Sometimes you can throw it at a picture. Oh, we broke the picture. $75 more, but more happiness and inspiration. So that is how you use your motel room to your benefit. Have at it, folks. Don't go bankrupt. One of the statistics you'll see down here is how much damage you've done to motels. I've done $615 of damage. That could be all today. Maybe we have visited a hotel already, but I don't know. That number doesn't feel quite big enough. And one of them is sinks torn from walls. Yes, sinks torn from walls. that is a number that will go up in our playthrough. You will see it happen. It just will. So enjoy. I am smiling through this, folks, even though it's a little silly. I like the ingenuity of it. You know, you had to have a way to give you some extra happiness in that. Hey, I've got an idea. So who do you think thought of that? Do you think the dev thought of that himself? Maybe he did. Or do you think a friend was like, hey, remember that time or you know what you should put in your game? I always wonder how those little things, little nuance like that gets added into a video game. I know how it would happen with me. It'd be a conversation with friends and we'd be spitballing stupid ideas and one of them would bubble to the top. So at a hotel, you can develop ideas just like this. And we're going to go ahead and do that. It's just a normal day in a lot of ways. You just can't practice, which makes some sense. I wish there was a way to practice when you're on the road. I kind of wish there could be like you could rent out a venue to practice or visit somebody's garage or something like that. And I'm just trying to spend the points now. I don't really have a real goal here with what I'm merging. So I just want to be kind of clear on that. I am leaning away from technology, even though it's popular in Missouri. It is not popular anywhere else. We don't want to end up with a whole slew of technology songs and then travel to Kentucky where we get booed off the stage. So, but anyway, back to the whole thing with what you can do on the road and how those ideas bubble up. Interesting. Yeah. So 13 points left. We could do a 6. We have a 6. There we go. Okay. I wish that's what it was. I wish there was a way to practice on the road because the songs you're not playing in your set will start to atrophy. So if you're on a 3-week tour, by the end of that tour, songs you haven't played at all will go down. Their play skill will start to dwindle, and we don't have a way to impact that on the road. So it'd be kind of cool if there was something you could rent out the, conference room or something. Maybe go to Jerry's garage or, something like that. I don't know. Anyway, let's go ahead and write a song. We haven't done this in a little bit, but we're going to go ahead and write a low energy song. Start to say low quality. We never want to write low quality. Low quality is never a win. Low difficulty is sometimes popular. Not right now. We did see that instrumentals might be coming into play soon. That might be something we might try to do. Unfortunately, that's where I get a lot of my points right now because I have so many of these ideas to merge. These numbers are going to go up way faster. So writing instrumentals, you don't get these points. So you have to have strong riff, rhythm, and melodies to counteract that. Well, let's go ahead and start with riff. We'll start with the 15 that's out there. Topher has one too. His is only 4 points though, and while basic musicianship isn't a bad thing, I'm wanting to avoid it if I can. Kiwi has a couple of ways to take this. Let's go back up to rhythm. We could just try doing an instrumental this time. We can go with a quality 40 instrumental. We could add lyrics to it and make it a 50. Looks like that's where it would max out right now. Let's go ahead and write an instrumental. What the heck? We'll do that with the understanding that one of the tags we saw over someone's head was instrumental, meaning that it could be something that's coming up soon. If we have one in the bank to play, that is fantastic. Underline and thump me. I close readings. How about we name this one? We're going to call it Above the Scissors is. Okay. We're going to call this song Closer. Or Closer. I guess depends on how you want to say it. I was thinking Closer. Like somebody who closes things down. In my mind, it was like somebody who ends relationships really well. I don't know why that was going through my brain, but it was. And we're going to finish writing that song. It was an all Kiwi song. She wrote an all instrumental, so she was the only one that got any points for it. And that's fine. Have no problem with that. We're going to go with the map. We're going to drive back to St. Louis now just to demonstrate that. The return trip, only $78, and that's because we stayed in a hotel. Now, when we went to Kansas City, the drive home was $211. Kansas City is not quite as far of a drive, so the money should have been less. So what we're seeing is that it was well over $100 to stay somewhere on the road as we drove, and it would have been cheaper to go ahead and just stay in a hotel. Plus, we would have had the opportunity to write a song. So while there's really no problem if you just want to get home, you don't want to have to do the diligence of finding a hotel and all that, you're just trying to get back, drive straight through. It'll just charge you more money. It'll auto stay at hotels, things like that. Oh, I did want to drive home though. We're going to go ahead and do that. And I think we'll go ahead and end this episode right there as we walk in our front door. We will pick up roughly here in the next one. Thanks for joining me, and thank you for your time. And until next time, fair travels.